I hauled myself onto the boards of the jetty and vomited for the 5th time. A stream of muddy lake water poured from my mouth and splashed onto the boards, soaking into the old wood and disappearing between the cracks. Ew. At least it was just water this time. I'd lost my breakfast the first time I'd puked. I could still see the misshapen chunks of toast lying in a murky puddle at the end of the jetty. Drowning over and over and over again wasn't fun. In fact, it was something I hated with a passion. If I could rank the ways I hated almost dying, number 1 would be getting burnt, then getting the skin flayed off my body, and then drowning. No one else was going to get this naiad out of the lake, though, so it was up to me. She couldn't stay here. She'd already scared a few fishermen witless, and had possibly eaten someone's chihuahua. I coughed and wiped my mouth with the back of my hand.
"You almost got her that time,"
Benson called over to me cheerfully from his little dinghy floating by on the lake. He whistled and jerked on his fishing line. He'd been happily casting his line out, in between having to poke my drowning body with an oar to get me to rise up enough that I could take a breath, regain consciousness, and get myself back onto the jetty. I hoiked up another lungful of water. While I was a great swimmer, as well as an excellent wrestler, apparently I was no good at underwater wrestling. The naiad wasn't as strong as me, but she was fast, and all she had to do was hold me in a lock until I lost consciousness and sunk to the bottom of the lake, so she could swim away, laughing. So far, I'd drowned 4 times. Because of my stupid regeneration, my body pushed the water from my lungs, restarted my brain, and woke me up again. The first time, I was still at the bottom of the lake, so I inhaled another mouthful of water and drowned again. Luckily, Benson cottoned on to what was happening and got busy with his oar, and poked my drowned body out of the water enough that I could get my face air side up. We made a great team.
"Why don't you jump in and try to catch her yourself?"
I muttered. The words felt rough in my throat. I coughed one more time and hauled myself to my feet.
"Ah, I'll sink like a stone. Never learned to swim, if I'm being honest with you. Besides, if I jump in, who will say the prayers to get rid of her?"
"Benson," I sighed, "you know that the prayers don't work. I already explained this to you. She's come through the portal in the town square. I just have to throw her back through." He splashed me with his oar.
"Of course the prayers work, you heathen! It's a classic exorcism. Gotta get the evil spirits back to hell where they belong."
"They're not from hell," I muttered pointlessly. Despite all the evidence, Benson refused to believe that the odd mythical creatures that kept falling through the portal were anything other than demons. To give him some credit, he took everything in his stride. He hadn't freaked out about anything so far, and I wasn't holding much back. Except myself. He still didn't know that I wasn't human.